I'm live. Who's there? VUE for you. Charles West. Hey. That's right. Tap that screen. Carla. Hey. Carla's on there. Kay Turner. Who's Kay Turner? Who are you? Nikki Caldwell. Hi. You're on my team. Pollers. Hey, hey. Is that the Pollards? We're playing Joshua Fit, the Battle of Jericho. You know why? Because I'm finally going to tell my story. And so here's the thing. They said Joshua was crazy for marching around. Everybody like, oh, they're laughing at him. What's he think he's doing? Kind of worked out for him, didn't it? Mm-hmm. It is the Pollards. See, first they think you're crazy, don't they, Pollards? I mean, like, don't they think you're loony? Just a little one took over the line. First they ask you, why are you doing all that stuff? And then they ask you how. How did you do all that stuff? So I'm feeling a little bit like Joshua here, tooting my horn. Spaz, I love that. Jones, Cohen, who else do I have? Okay, tap some hearts, people. Thank you. We're just going to do this for about another minute, and then we're going to get started on the Take Charge of Your Health journey. Marine Corps. Excellent. Hello from Ohio. Pat Cohen. Hey. Lovely. Lori, who's that? You can stay. Thank you for the hearts. Louise. Excellent. Hey, has Jim Bob made it on here yet? It's Karen. Hi. Can y'all hear the music, or am I just dancing to nobody? My kids are waving at me. 3 what? 3 what? 3 water. They're asking for water. You're out of luck for water. Hello from Switzerland. What's going on tonight? Tonight we are going to be talking about taking charge of your health. I'm going to tell the story finally of how we recovered our son from a devastating diagnosis. Hello from Cleveland. Hi. And I'm here to encourage you and to cajole you, push you a little bit. And no, I'm not speaking Turkish. Okay, that one, no, you don't get to stay. Yeah, I'm trying to block Louise. How do we block Louise? He's making inappropriate comments. That's the thing, people. If you want to know how to take charge of your health, you want to solve it, don't make inappropriate comments, seriously. So my husband's watching now, and he's going to block Louise when he does it. I love you, too. All right, we can turn off In the Mood. It's 8:02. Let's get going. All right. I am not a doctor, and I'm not a nurse, and I don't have any fancy names. Oh, there's Louise. How do I do that? Block user. Did I get him? Did I get Louise making all those nasty comments? Broadcaster block. Bam! That's how it goes. What are you doing? We are talking about healing yourself. Patient, heal thyself. All right, so I'm not a doctor. I'm not from the I know nothing. According to the FDA, because I don't have any fancy name or any fancy letters behind my name, but I am finally ready to tell you our story. This is a story to give you a new way of thinking and a new way of looking at health and wellness. Remember how I said that they said that I was crazy? Yeah, I've done a lot of crazy things, but here we go. When my son was young, we received a devastating diagnosis, and I'm hesitant to tell you what it is right now because it doesn't really matter. But it was pretty devastating. We were told that he would be medicated on a cocktail of meds for his entire life, and there was nothing we could do about it. We were told it's genetic. Do CrossFit for health. Absolutely. It's genetic. There's nothing we can do. Don't waste any of your money on all of those natural health cures and all of that stuff. It's just a good waste of money. Here's what you should do. They said, stop having children. Oh, well, this is better. You know what they said? This is what happens when really smart men marry depressed women. That's what the doctor actually said, like with his outside voice. He said that. He said, don't get a divorce because 88% of kids whose parents, 88% of kids, parents who have this diagnosis get a divorce. They said, stop having children. But here's the thing, fear is not of God, is it? So what I decided to do was research. Now, I'm not talking about like, let's Google it research. I'm talking about, do you remember back in the day, who's old like me and you remember microfiche? Anybody remember microfiche? Yeah, I didn't listen to them, right? Thank you. Anybody remember microfilm? Anybody remember like old dusty books and research? Yeah, I'm talking research. We traveled all over the country talking to doctors. We did a lot of research. This is before the internet too. I mean, I think we had an internet, but we surfed the web occasionally. It wasn't like there was anything really on the internet. So I learned two things that I'm going to share with you tonight. Item number one, I learned it matters who your teachers are. It matters who you believe, doesn't it? Item number two, I learned that choices matter. And that's why when I formed my organization, I named it The Sensible Life, as in think through. And my tagline is, because choices matter, because they do. So what I want to talk to you about is item number one first. It matters who your teachers are and who you believe. Let me take you back through a tour of history. So thousands of years ago, if you had an ache or pain and you went to the priest or the doctor or whatever, they would say, here, take this herb, take this root, rub this oil on. In fact, you can read it all in the Old Testament. I mean, it's all in the Egyptian papyrus. It's in the ancient tombs. It's everywhere. All of their natural cures that really did work. And so that's what they did. And then it got to be where they said, hey, no, that root or that herb, that's superstitious. You can't do that. You need to say a prayer. And then it was, no, that prayer doesn't work. You need to take medicine. And have you noticed that we've come full circle? Now it's that medicine might be harmful to you. Maybe you should take an herb. I mean, have you actually ever read the back of one of those medicines that we all like to take, or the prescription meds or whatever? Do you know what the #1 killer of your liver is in the U.S.? Do you think it's drinking too much? Who knows? Does anybody? I'm not even going to tell you. I want you to Google it. What is the #1 cause of liver failure in the U.S.? There's a little assignment for you, okay? All right. Anyway, so we've come full circle. The other thing I wanted to see, yeah, we've come full circle. The country that you're in matters. Have you noticed that? So take essential oils, for instance, and I'm all into essential oils. This is not, I'm not saying that the essential oils is what cured my son. We did a lot of things way before essential oils, and I will do a whole broadcast on that sometime, and I will tell you all the dirty details of what we did. But now I like essential oils, and I've learned that if you go to Germany, you're only allowed to breathe it. And if you go to France, if you go to England, you're allowed to rub it on, but you have to dilute it 30-to-1, no matter what. And that'll get you in trouble in Germany, but you're allowed to do it in England. But if you go to France, they're going to offer it to you in their honey on the bread. So it matters what country you're in. It matters if you're in Ecuador. It matters if you're in the U.S. I mean, in Ecuador, they're doing all kinds of crazy things in certain clinics, and they are curing things that everybody else thinks is incurable. And they're doing it naturally. So in the U.S., oh, have mercy. Other countries say, I recently discovered a thing called Himalayan salt therapy. Has anybody ever heard of that one? It's really very interesting. I don't know if it works. Do you know if it works? No. Does it matter? No. What matters is that we get to make the decision about whether we want to try it or not. It's also funny, though, that they're not allowed to tell you in the U.S. that might actually help your respiratory and your breathing. And I can tell you this because I have nothing to do with the salt industry. But they're not allowed to tell you that you could get off of your breathing treatments if you do Himalayan salt therapy. But do you know what? In other countries, they have it where you can bill insurance for it. It matters what country you're in. So I want to talk to you about how we believe and what we think in the U.S. as a general rule, because this is what I've learned. Okay, so #1 in the U.S., we think everything happens in a box. Have you noticed that you have a skin problem? Who do you go to? The dermatologist. And what does the dermatologist do? He says, well, this is a skin problem, and it's in the skin problem box, and so we're going to give you a steroid to take away that skin problem. It's almost like it never occurs to most dermatologists that maybe it's a liver issue. Maybe it has something to do with some other system in our body. Maybe our body is all connected. Maybe we really are fearfully and wonderfully made. Never occurs to them. Or at least it doesn't seem like it occurs to them, because you get your 6.2 minutes, they write a script, and you're out of the door. Now, I am not telling you not to go to your doctor. I'm telling you it matters who you believe. It matters who your doctor is, doesn't it? Yeah. So the next thing about the U.S. is that we think the doctor is responsible for your health. The doctor is not responsible for your health. It doesn't matter that he went to school for 12 years. Who is responsible for your health? Raise your hand if you know. Anybody? Anybody? McFly? Anybody? Forrest? Run? Forrest? Me! You are responsible for your health. That's exactly right. You take charge. Good job, guys. You take charge of your health. Now, it's a little more understandable that we used to think that way back in the day when the doctor went to school for 12 years and you didn't have the internet. You didn't have PubMed. You couldn't do any research. You had to go do the microfiche. I understand why you don't want to do microfiche. I do. I understand it. But now there's just really no excuse for it. But we have been trained to trust pharmaceuticals more than we trust more than we trust our God. We just do. We go to the doctor and we pop that pill. We don't do the research. Have you ever seen those side effects? We don't even consider it. But have you ever noticed that sometimes when people do that, then other people say, when you suggest a natural cure, garlic is really good for that. They go, I think I'm going to have to research that. I don't want to hurt myself. Before I put the garlic in my body, I think I'm going to go ahead and research that. Have you noticed? So this is the face I make when people tell me stuff like that. That's great. You go ahead and do that research. That's the face I make, because sometimes you just have to let people be who they are. All right. But we do trust the pharmaceuticals, but do you know I cured a staph infection with garlic? That's what I'm saying. Fist bump, Charles. Do you know what kills 250,000 people? Conservative estimates a year. FDA-approved pharmaceutical meds that we're all just popping. The problem is that we think medicine heals. We think that if it's too high, we just need to lower it. Some symptoms are symptomatic, but mostly as our doctors start with the easy answer. Yeah. We think that if it's too high, you just need to lower it. If it's too low, you need to raise it. If it's too thick, you need to thin it. If it's too thin, you need to thicken it. If it's too wound up, you just need to settle it down. If it's in the wrong place, you need to tack it back up. And if it stops functioning the way we think it should function, rip it out. I mean, who cares if you're going to rip it out, right? You'll never miss it. Nobody's thinking through what happens to your hormones if you don't have your gallbladder to help you process the cholesterol, to help you make your hormones, right? Nobody's thinking that through. They're all thinking, Now, I'm not saying never, ever, ever take a pharmaceutical. I'm not saying that. Look at me. You hear me saying that? No. Because if I get shot, I expect somebody to take me to the hospital and not argue with anybody. You just let them do their thing, really. And the day they tell me, tomorrow you die if you don't take antibiotics, I'm in, yeah. But knowing what I know now, short of that, not much is going to get you. Did you know that half of all heart attack victims have normal cholesterol? Did you know? That's right. Antibiotics is killing everything, because we're going to talk about that. All right. The other problem with our country is that we don't believe you reap what you sow. We think that disease happens in a vacuum. Here I am walking along, and all of a sudden, bam-o! Just something came out and got me with diabetes, right? It doesn't happen in a vacuum. Gotcha. Have you ever seen that t-shirt? I wish I had it on me. It says, I take the metformin for the diabetes caused by the hydrochlorothiazide that I take for the high blood pressure, which I got from the Ambien, caused by that I take for the insomnia, that I got from the Xanax, that I take for anxiety, that I got from the Wellbutrin, take for chronic fatigue, which I got from the Lipitor, that I take for high cholesterol, because a diet and exercise and sleep is just too much work. It's too hard. taking charge of your health, guys. Do you really want to be on that path? I don't want to be on that path. All right. And then some people say to me, but wait a minute, I'm already sick. And that's why I say, yeah, there are times. If there's a fire in my field, I'm not going to go saddle up the horses and try to get them out there to stomp it down. I'm going to call the fire truck. But to live like that on the cocktail of meds like they wanted to put my son on, oh, you just have to give us time to get the right cocktail, they told me. You just have to give us time to work out all the meds and make sure it works. Yeah. Okay. So let me talk to you about this. He only prescribed antibiotic. There are some good doctors, you see. So I am not saying pay no attention to a doctor. I am saying it matters who your doctor is. Pick a good doctor. Pick one that will give you antibiotics the day before you die. Pick one who knows about nutrition. Pick one who knows about natural remedies. All right, I digress. Okay, if you are a poor person and you want to be rich, what do? You have to do what rich people do. You have to do the research. You have to be intentional about your choices. You have to read books. You have to make wise decisions about your living if you're poor and you want to be rich. If you are already in bad health and you want to be a healthy person, what do? You have to live how the healthy people live. You have to do your research. You have to read your books. You have to do intentional living. You have to make careful decisions with your food and your diet and your all these things. You have to do what healthy people do. So that leads me to truth number 2. Because truth number 1 was what? Anybody remember? What's truth number 1 I learned? And by the way, I'm doing this because I'm about to start a series on all of the specific things that I learned, and I want you guys to have the foundation. And you can have all of your friends watch this who are just popping their pills and who are not believing that they can take charge of their health. You can have them watch this. So number 1, we learned that it matters who you listen to. It matters who your teachers are. And number 2, we learned that choices matter. Do you know what the new study of genetics is? You know how they spent all of that time and energy at mapping the genome. Indian doctors are the best. Yes, I have actually experienced some fabulous Indian doctors and midwives. If Saras, if you're out there somewhere, I love you. I miss you so much. Okay. The new study of genetics is called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of why genes turn on and off. So if I have 2 people with the Alzheimer's gene, why is it that this person gets it and this person doesn't? What turns that gene on and off? And do you know what they're studying, or do you know what they're finding, folks? It's really simple. They're finding that it's all the lifestyle choices. They're saying 60% or more of our, lifestyle choices, 60% or more of our eventual, what happens to us is lifestyle choices. I know people, because when you get crazy, like I'm crazy, like when you own an infrared sauna and you've done hyperbaric oxygen therapies and you've done ionic foot baths and you've done Nambu-Dabrad's allergy elimination technique and you've done elimination diets and rotation diets and you've done the DAPS diet and you've done all this crazy stuff, you meet people. So I know people who have cured their RA, who have no more autism, who've had chronic ear infections their entire lives go away, reverse their diabetes, they've thrown away their meds, they're out of their wheelchairs, they're no more IBS, no more, you name it. I have met, RA is rheumatoid arthritis. I have met people who have done this with nothing but lifestyle choices. And I'm not telling you, again, I'm not telling you about the products that I love. I'm telling you lifestyle, what you eat, how much you sleep, what your stress is, matters. And they have completely, I know somebody who took care of MRSA with lifestyle choices. I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. I'm just telling you that maybe you pick a wise doctor who knows about some of these things, okay? Here's a movie I want you all to watch. Do not call me or talk to me until you watch this movie. Serial Killers with a C. C-E-R-E-A-L, Killers. It's a story about, I will do questions later because I'm too ADHD to focus on questions now. Sorry. Serial Killers. It's a story about a man whose father was a a famous sports figure and who was at the peak of his health, and then he had a heart attack, and they said, your cholesterol's all messed up and everything else. And he said, how could that happen? Because he was so healthy. And he found out that lifestyle choices in the form of food matters. It is a fabulous documentary. You can probably YouTube it. Serial Killers. All right. So you take care of that. Dr. Jim Bob, I hope you're here. I met Dr. Jim Bob on a cruise this summer. It was fabulous. If you're not here, that's okay. I forgive you. But he likes to say it's not normal. He says it's common, but common isn't normal. We have to think through. We have to stop seeing that half of us are on thyroid meds and going, yeah, that's normal. It's not normal, right? Here's what I want to say about medicine. Medicine is never better than nature. I'm not saying it's not necessary sometimes. It is. I've taken medicine. No judgment. Judgment-free zone, right? Live how you want to live. But is it ever better than what God created? No, because medicine replaces stuff. Natural remedies support your body's ability to heal itself. I believe we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I believe our bodies were designed by God to heal themselves. If you get a cut, do you bleed out and die? No, because your body heals itself. Now, if you have hemophilia, you do because you're missing something, right? Because perfect nature, perfect creation went bad. But we are designed to heal ourselves. So let's support our bodies and their systems. Let's learn about them instead of just replacing what we think is missing. Medicine forces pathways. It drives things and forces them to happen. You know, a lot of times they haven't even put a correlation together with you take a medicine and you're healthier, or you take a medicine and you actually live longer. A lot of medicines, you know, the only thing they can tell you, you die sooner if you're on them. I'm not joking. Do some research. All right? Natural remedies are adaptogenic. That means you give your body what it needs. If it needs it, it uses it. If it doesn't need it, metabolizes it and it goes away. That's wonderful. Medicines can make you sicker. How many of you know somebody who's gone to the hospital? Oh, they came out without whatever it is that they went in with, but now they're sicker. Their body is weaker instead of their body being stronger. Natural remedies make your body stronger. Medicines kill indiscriminately. Like they kill all that good gut bacteria in there. One of the things that we came to when we were doing our journey to wellness is fermented foods. And I've learned how important it is. And I'm going to do an entire segment on how to ferment your foods, your vegetables. But when you take an antibiotic, it doesn't just kill the bad bacteria, it kills the good stuff too. And that sets off just a chain of events that wreaks havoc in your entire system. So you need fermented foods. But natural remedies have an intelligence about them. They don't just indiscriminately kill, right? So they are always, always better. You know, every named thing is nothing more than a diagnosis code to bill. When I was fighting the insurance companies with my son, oh, by the way, I have some Ningxia here. Oh, my word, that's good. Ningxia Red. Find out about it. So, when I was fighting the insurance companies, and you can believe me, I fought, because I'm kind of feisty like that. What I learned is that the only purpose of having a diagnosis code is so that they could bill it and they could write a script for it. So all of these named things that they have spoken over you are really just one thing. Something went wrong in the entire system that is what God created. It's God's perfection not working like it should have worked. All right, so let's see. I have some other things to say. Genetic. Yeah, so follow the money. Ooh, was that my outside voice? Sorry, follow the money. So here's what I want you to do with all this information. I want you to stop saying it's genetic. Don't even say it anymore. That's victim talk. That's, nothing I can do, it's genetic. I guess I'm just doomed to die early. I actually had somebody say that to me. Longevity doesn't run in my genes. I'm out of here. I'm going to Florida because it's genetic and I'm just going to live my life while I can. And I thought, okay, I'm sorry for you. It's victim talk. Don't be a victim. Cut it out. Okay. The second thing I want you to do Take charge of your own health, okay? Believe you can is the first thing. The second thing is join me on my series. I do not know everything. Oh, have mercy, I don't know everything. But I'll tell you what, I'm learning fast, because when I was doing my research, I read so many books. They could stack this high, the books that I read, right? So I'm going to go through those books with you on my journey. We're going to do a library review of all the books that you really want to read. We're going to talk about the Christian. I have so many questions. How the Christian meets natural remedies. We're going to talk about digestion and how it affects everything in your body. All disease has something to do with your gut. And all disease has something to do with inflammation. And it's all interconnected. Right? And then finally, yes, I am going to talk about autism. I know that not everybody, okay, I know there are a lot of warrior moms out there that are still fighting their, see, I didn't mean to do this. Okay. There are a lot of warrior moms out there that are still fighting for their kids. You fight. Okay? And I know that not everybody got to the end of the path like we got to the end of the path. And this is for you. I know how hard it is. I've lived it. But there is hope. There really is. You're going to find a doctor that knows something. And we're going to talk about our journey, and I'm going to spill it all. I'm going to tell you every single thing we did and what was helpful and what wasn't. And he's not autistic anymore. He's not perfect. He's a 16-year-old boy, but I think he's great. He's one of my favorite people. And so you join me for that, okay? Verklempt. I'm going to get back there. All right, next thing you're going to do, you're going to watch that movie. What was the name of it? Anybody? Serial Killers. You're going to join me on my journey, so subscribe, get all of your friends to subscribe, get everybody to say, let's get the word out, all right? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to binge watch Dr. Jim Bob Hagerton, okay? Normally I tell you, you got to put your liver to bed by 10 o'clock. Put your liver to bed, that's when it cleanses. But in this case, I'm going to say stay up and binge watch on YouTube Dr. Jim Bob Hagerton, okay? You will not be sorry. Number 4 or 5, I forget. You're going to seek out a functional doctor who knows something. Okay, there's one in your area. Talk to all of the nutty crunchies. Talk to the foodies. Talk to the people who are a little bit one toed over the line, kind of like me. They know people who know people who know people. You're going to find one. Don't stop until you do. And don't say to me they're across town. That doesn't matter. Drive there. And don't say to me, oh, they don't take insurance. They don't take insurance. Y'all, the truth is, here's about America too. We want it cheap and we want it now. It takes time to heal your body and to take care of your body. And it takes time. It took us 13 years to get to the bottom of it. And it takes money, right? Now, I know not everybody has the money, but don't go shopping at the mall and spend a whole bunch of money there and then tell me you don't have the money to go see a functional doctor who doesn't take insurance. Don't tell me that, because I'm all not listening. This is my face when I am not listening. Okay? No, la, 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 la. Can't hear it. I know, because I've got skin in this game. I mean, more skin than you can imagine. The day they said that, well, I'll turn it into the vaccine board if you want me to turn it in, but I don't know why. And the day I said, man, don't bother. Okay. All right. The next one is go to bed. After you watch Jim Bob, go to bed. Reduce your stress. Here are my 2 biggies. Decide who to believe, because choices matter. All right. No judgment, only hope. Y'all, I'm a girl who used to weigh 60 pounds more than I do. Okay? We'll do one on that too sometime if you want me to. Do y'all want me to talk about how to lose weight? Can do that. So 60 pounds ago, I ate Big Macs. I ate all kinds of things that I don't so much eat anymore. No judgment. I knew about the GAPS diet 7 years before I decided to do it. No judgment. I am not in charge of your time or your money. You live how you, yuck, whatever. Big Macs are, okay, I'm sorry, right? I'm gonna let that go. Part of me still loves it. But it's bad for you, don't. Okay, so no judgment, because we all have to make our decisions and live with the consequences of it. I'm just here to help you along your path. Okay, questions? I got questions. What time is it? I'm at a half an hour. Woohoo! What questions? Knowing that I don't know anything, I'm not a doctor, right? I managed a McDonald's. They're tasty, aren't they? How did you, do you weigh like 500 pounds because you managed a McDonald's? Because I would. That's just saying. Because it was Lori sneaking through. Okay, there was a time I could eat 3 Big Macs, 2 large fries, and a fillet of fish on the side just because I could. Have you heard anything about, no, I haven't. I'm so sorry. Oh, patient, no, nope. And I spelled Dr. Jim Bob's last name. Haggerton, Haggerton. And you tell him I said, hey. Like if you get on one of his things, you say, Lori Bory says, hey. Serial killers, exactly right, yes. How do you figure out what is wrong to do the research? Finger tracking. Oh. How did you cure the autism? That's a whole different story. How do you figure out what to research? You start somewhere. We'll do a whole library review on what books you may want to read to start somewhere. Maybe even start with Dr. Google. Find out natural cures for and see what people are saying. Anything else? Y'all, I so appreciate you. Tap the hearts. Tap them. Because if you don't heart me, then nobody else is going to want to come see me. Thank you. You're awesome too. Anybody else? That was a health issue that took, it was autism. Yeah. Anything else? They told us he was a 7 or 8 out of a 10 for severity. To conquer. Oh. There's nothing you could, from what you've been reading, there's nothing you could do. Start of digestive enzymes makes you very sick. There's probably a reason for that. Yes, there probably is a reason for that. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose anything. I just have questions. I'll take questions about overall stuff. Excellent, well presented. Thank you very much, Charles. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you. Okay, so should I cut it? I'm going to guzzle my Ningxia. Anybody got Ningxia there? Joshua for the Battle of Jericho, right? Because first they ask you, why are you doing that? Then they ask you how. Not so crazy anymore, huh? I'm looking forward to the series. I am too. I can't wait to see what I'm going to find out, see what I'm going to say. All right, y'all. I'm going to let it go. Thank you for all the hearts. You guys are the best. I'll see you later.